Hey guys, it's Caroline. It's currently 2 in the morning in Sydney, Australia. I just got a brand new webcam and I've decided that I want to put my story up on YouTube to help others. I want to reach out to everyone and share my story, and even if I can help just one person, it would be amazing. So there's going to be quite a number of videos. It's a very long story over a couple of years, and I've had a lot of emotional and physical trauma. And so I really want to start from the beginning. Sorry if it looks like I'm not looking at the webcam, because the webcam's at the top and it's like, I can't work it out. Last time I made a video, I had 4 subscribers, and I was so happy that I had 4 subscribers. And now I'm even happier because I have 11 subscribers, and that means that I can reach out to 11 people, and that makes me happy. So I'm going to start where it all began, which is at my stillbirth, which happened in 2012. So the first 30 years of my life were pretty average, pretty normal. There weren't really any major problems, any major issues. And I knew sort of the shit was going to hit the fan after I turned 30. I'm a very spiritual person. I'm a little bit psychic. It sort of runs in the family. My mother is also that way. So I sort of had a feeling that after I hit 30, things were not going to go good, because I believe that every single person, every soul on this planet, there will be a period within their lives where things will go bad. And I believe you're meant to learn and you're meant to grow from these experiences, and ultimately it will serve your purpose in life. So, of course, it happened. As soon as, 31, 32, things started to go not so great. I had a blood and ovum miscarriage in 2011. I've got a daughter already, and we desperately I felt like very strongly that I wanted another child. So, to be honest, my health wasn't the best. I was very overweight. Still am a little bit, so still in the process of getting healthy and trying to lose weight, on top of all my health problems that I have. And so I thought, I'm going to cheat. My biological clock was ticking, and I was just so focused. I'm so determined. I want to have another baby. So I went and saw a fabulous Chinese doctor, and we did acupuncture and herbs, and boom, got pregnant straight away. Wonderful. The truth of the matter is, though, I didn't have a good feeling from the start of my pregnancy. I knew something was going to go wrong, and I was given, as I told you, I'm quite spiritually in tuned, and I don't know if you call my spirit guides or my angels. They basically said to me, it's not going to end well, and they gave me 2 dates, the 16th and the 18th. They didn't give me a month. Unfortunately, at 6 weeks pregnant, I contracted Parvo virus from my daughter, who got it from daycare. So I was quite ill throughout the pregnancy. Of course, at the time I was pregnant, we didn't know that I'd contracted Parvo virus. I also had recurring sinus infections. I was on antibiotics. And then I'll never forget, was it about the 22-week mark? So with my daughter, with my first pregnancy, at 22 weeks, we had a scare. I had a bleed. I was hospitalised for 4 days. The obstetrician even sent the psychologist in, believing that I'd lose her. They really thought I did. And I'll never forget the first night that I was in hospital with my daughter. I was absolutely terrified. And then I remember hearing a voice telling me, Caroline, it's all going to be okay. And this calmness just came over me. And I knew she was going to live and everything was going to work out. And believe it or not, it did. I got to 39 weeks pregnant. I was induced. I had a natural labour, and everything went really well. So I never forget, it was the weekend. I was sick that whole week, I guess, you know, the parvovirus reacting in my system. I never forget, my parents came on the Saturday. They brought me soup. And later on, my mother tells me that the day that she saw me on the Saturday, she looked at me and had a feeling that I wasn't pregnant anymore. Of course, she didn't tell me this till after. And then the Sunday morning I woke up, I felt my son kick. So, oh, by the way, we named him Michael, my son Michael. We felt him kick. And I felt him kick. And then I remember having lunch, and then not much after that. And then it was about 7:30 at night. I remember walking into the lounge room, and I just smelled death all around me. And I didn't have a good feeling. I knew something was very, very wrong. I went to take a seat, felt uncomfortable, was a bit in denial, didn't want to believe it, went to bed, got up at 4:30 in the morning. I turned to my husband and I said, we need to go to the hospital now, something's wrong. My husband said, don't be silly, you know, it's all in your head sort of thing. I went up, I got a Paddle Pop chocolate ice cream. I was eating that quite regularly throughout the pregnancy, and when I would eat it, Michael would kick quite a lot, and I took one bite, and unfortunately, it confirmed what I already knew. I didn't feel anything, and I knew he was gone. Went back to sleep, got up the next day like a complete zombie, put on my work clothes, and went to work. About 3 p.m. that afternoon, I got the pains, and I knew it was time. Called my husband. I said, right, I'm off to the hospital. Went into the hospital, walked in, laid on that, you know, bed. The midwife came with a Doppler. Could not find the heartbeat. And, you know, don't you love it how the midwives do the whole, oh, they sort of lie to you and they say, oh, I'm not very good at working this machine. I don't know what's going on. The truth of the matter is they couldn't find the heartbeat, but they don't want to tell you that. So the obstetrician comes in with a little ultrasound machine, and I turn to him and I say, is everything going to be okay? And he says to me, I hope so. And I knew then. And then, of course, he turned the ultrasound machine on, had a look, and then turned the screen to me and my husband. My husband's an eternal optimist. I'm more of a realist, and until he's told otherwise, he believed there was nothing wrong. And he showed us the screen of my baby, and he said, I'm so sorry, there's no heartbeat. The really strange thing is, my son Michael died the day he turned 22 weeks old, which is the exact same gestation and day that I started bleeding with my daughter. I'll never forget that moment when they told us that Michael didn't have a heartbeat. My husband completely lost it, and he was inconsolable. He's crying, called up my parents and his parents, who were just like, we've lost the baby. He's crying and he's terrible. I yelled out. I was like this. I was like, no. And I was just like crying, but then I froze and I became emotionally sort of frozen, sort of like void. And because I looked at my husband and I thought, I've got to be strong, because he was breaking down in front of me. And when he told my mum that the baby was dead, she couldn't believe it, because she couldn't believe she had a dream the night before of a baby dying, and she was terrified, and her dream came true. So I'll never forget, you know, the obstetrician spoke to us, said, you know, go home, come back. And we walked out of the hospital like complete zombies, in total shock, disbelief, and utter grief and sadness just washed over us. I was in shock. I did not know what was coming up, what I would have to endure and what I'd have to go through. And I'll never forget going to Mum and Dad's house because we had to drop my daughter off so they could look after her. And I never forget Dad saying to me, Caroline, this is not something that you're just going to get over like that. This is a big thing that's going to change everything. And I didn't get it back then, but I understand now exactly what he meant, because losing my son Michael has completely changed me and has changed my life. In a sense, for the better as well, because it's made me appreciate life, appreciate what's important. Got to live for every day, because you just don't know. In 1 second, your entire world can change. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to stop it here now. Please stay tuned for part 2 of my stillbirth story. I'm really only getting into the beginning of it, so there'll be another video. Okay, see you guys.